Hello everyone, so it's been about 8 years since I released my most popular video when it came to adrenal fatigue, how to heal from adrenal fatigue. And I thought I'd just condense it down a bit more with a better camera, better microphone, and a bit better knowledge than where I was 8 years ago. And I think the most important place to start when you're dealing with any illness really is to understand what potentially got you to that point. Your body's had enough, it's burned out. You're not listening up until that point. It takes you to burn out, to have fibromyalgia, to have a chronic illness before you really start to listen to your body. Why am I here? Why are you there? And really try and examine your life leading up to this point. What potentially could have caused your burnout? Is it the fact that maybe you're just studying all the time, using stimulants constantly, using caffeine, energy drinks, then playing video games, then watching Netflix, not sleeping properly, and doing it over and over and over again before your body just goes, look, I can't do it anymore. Understanding why we got to that point can help us build a recovery program to get out of that. So, for example, I had a lot of adrenal issues along with other health problems because I was using instant gratification and stimulation all the time to try and avoid the reality of my life. So I play World of Warcraft all the time competitively, which keeps your adrenaline up and you're in a competitive situation, whether that's Counter-Strike as well, Call of Duty, then turning on Netflix to watch all these different series where people are getting murdered, which again is just, whether it's Dexter or any of these shows, it's not peaceful. You're not in a peaceful, restful state. You're not healing. You're not rejuvenating. You're not repairing from the day you've had. You're just in a constant cycle of adrenaline. And I was using that, and I was in an incredibly toxic household and environment, with a relationship as well. And basically my body was just not able to rest. There was no pause button. There was no good night's sleep followed by a bit of a rest day, or just a stop. It was just constant stress through stimulation, video games, relationship, my own health, my own head. I was worrying about my future. I was worrying about all these. It was constant, and it's no wonder you get burned out. So trying to figure out why it is that you're here in the first place is a good step to moving forward. Now, supporting yourself in your recovery program as best you can, as many angles as you can, is never going to hurt you in your recovery. So for example, food, removing seed oils, flours as much as you can, sugars, gluten and dairy, fast food, because they're just using all the cheapest ingredients most of the time. They're using seed oils and everything. Removing these as much as you possibly can is never going to hurt you in your recovery. It's only going to assist you in your recovery. So looking at food in a way that's conducive to your healing only benefits you in your recovery. Removing all the junk, it's only good for you. And I think it's a really important place to start when it comes to you wanting a better life yourself. You want to feel good. You want to wake up feeling good. It's a good place to start. The biggest bang for your buck that you're going to get is from rest. When it comes to healing, whether it's adrenal fatigue or fibromyalgia or whatever it is, the biggest bang for your buck is coming from sleep. Resting properly like this little furry thing here. Not kicking your legs up, watching someone else getting murdered on the TV, playing a competitive video game, whatever it is, that's not resting. I know you're sat on your ass, but it's not resting. That is resting. That is the true power of rest, when you just do nothing. You don't worry, you don't think of anything, you just sit there and do nothing. That is very powerful in your recovery program. Now, how do you achieve a good night's sleep? If you're using these video games and technology and scrolling through TikTok at 10 o'clock at night and then putting it down and going, right, I'm ready for bed, it's going to really hinder your sleep quality and the amount of deep sleep you get. So removing these screens 2 to 3 hours before bed is really beneficial for you in your recovery. Just having dim lights, maybe get yourself some of these orange tinted glasses if you're using the TV a little bit later on in the evening. Do what you can to reduce that as much as you can will only aid you in your recovery because it will improve your sleep quality. But out of all the things I'm going to tell you, sleep is number one. Rest is number one. And chances are, before you ended up in this problem, you weren't resting at all, or you weren't resting properly anyway. Reducing stimulants in the form of caffeine. You know, if you're burned out, you're whipping a tired horse if you're having a black coffee in the morning. I understand that we have obligations in life, but we really have to try and minimize the use of stimulants, because it's like taking a credit card out when there's no balance in. You're going to have to pay it back at some point. Trying to work the best you can around that is going to help you in your recovery. I don't know you. I don't know your life. I don't know what it is that your whole life situation is at. All I'm telling you, what helps you towards your recovery, which is what you want. You're watching this video, and if you're watching it 6 minutes in, you want to recover. So reducing stimulation from all forms. You want that true, deep, rested sleep. That's what you want. So getting rid of the blue screens and everything before bed is a massive plus. Another aspect of really chilling the adrenals out and healing your body is removing toxicity. And toxicity can come in many different forms, whether that's from, you know, potentially, I don't 100% have a choice, like a decision on this, but like a router. If you're sleeping with a router next to you, you're potentially a guinea pig. You know, I doubt there's any studies that have a router sat next to someone's head and studying the effects of EMF on your sleep. You know, if you have a router in your room, it's probably best to turn it off at night, just to not be a guinea pig for some study later on. But toxicity from all forms, toxicity from blue light at night, toxicity from a relationship. Maybe you have a parent that's very demeaning to you. Like a lot of parents, if I've spoken to someone with a chronic illness, they say, oh, my parents say I look all right, or just get over it. You know, they're demeaning about your experience in life. Really start to look at how things affect you. So if you have a family member or a relationship or any of these things, and you feel worse when you're around that person, or they're very demeaning to you, they might not even be conscious of it, but all these different interactions you have in your conscious experience affect you and your chemistry in your body. So you might well have someone in your family that you actually need to get rid of. You know, all they do is put you down, all they do is make you feel like trash. And if that person wasn't related to you, chances are you wouldn't even bother with them. All these things have an impact on you and your chemistry and how you feel as a person, how you operate. You know, if you grew up with a domineering mother that likes to put you in a box, and if you go outside that box, demean you or make you feel like shit, that person isn't thinking about you and your best interests. They're just stuck in their own little world and you're just a victim to it. You know, you can have toxicity from food. You could have mold in your bedroom that you could be breathing in all night that's affecting you. Any kind of toxicity, if you can reduce that as much as you possibly can, it's only going to aid you in your recovery. Whether that's toxicity as well for your mind. How are you looking at your life? For example, if I live my life through my eyes for a day, I have my son, we have a cuddle, we play together, then I hug my partner and we have a nice day, I feel quite content. As soon as I get on this bloody thing and I'm going on YouTube, it goes, this guy's more successful than me. This guy's richer than me. Oh, that guy's got a really nice car. Not that I care, but it still does something to my brain. It's like I'm not achieving enough. I'm not doing enough. I'm not, oh, look, this guy's living in a woodland in Norway. Wow, that looks so good. I'd love to do that, but I feel like I can't. You know, social media really is just a picture a lot of the time of everything that you don't have. And it can be really quite toxic. And you can start a lot of negative self-talk that, how come he's achieved it and I haven't? Am I lazy, or am I not doing enough? Or what's the secret? It's you really got to examine everything that you experience through all your senses. Really examine it and ask yourself, how is this affecting me? Is it affecting me in a positive way? Is it affecting me in a negative way? And a lot of the times with things like social media, it's not very positive. Sometimes you can watch, motivational videos. just examine how it makes you feel. We're all individual, we all experience things in a different way. So if you're anything like me, I experience social media a lot of the time in a negative way. It makes me look at my life in a different light, not a positive one. Really, they're the pillars when it comes to recovering from anything. Reducing toxicity, the burden on your body that's overfilling your cup. Loving yourself, getting good quality sleep, good quality food to nourish yourself. Reducing the crap which just adds more junk to your glass. And really tapering it down and getting it down to a stable level and being consistent with it, getting good rest, and the body will take care of itself. You know, this is a marvelous piece of kit. It's incredible. And we sometimes get into the mindset of like, oh, why me? You know, Jonathan, he's doing everything I do and he's not affected like this. Why me? How does that improve your life? How does that mindset help you get you to where you want to be? How does anything you're doing help you achieve what you're trying to achieve? Ask yourself that question. Whenever you get in a rut, whenever you start thinking about things in a negative light, ask yourself, how is this actually helping me? You know, if you look at someone that's where you want to be and you feel like it's unattainable and you start being down on yourself, how is that actually achieving you to get to that point? Little bricks a day. A year from now, it'll be a house. Be patient. And you will get there. You will get there in the end. The only other thing I'd like to say is that sometimes people can be very impatient. I know I spoke to someone yesterday for a good 2 hours, and they're dealing with a very severe autoimmune disease that affects their throat, the way they swallow, their eyes. And when I'm telling her all this, like, how long is this going to take? You know, I said, well, you be consistent. You know, 3 or 6 months, you'll see noticeable changes. You're going to feel much better. You might wake up feeling more refreshed. And a lot of people that I talk to like this, kind of, they get down. They're like, wow, I don't know if I want to wait that long. But by having that attitude, you're actually prolonging the severity of your illness and the recovery period of your illness. So if you truly are impatient and want things to change, you start today. Day one today. You make no more excuses. You make these positive changes. You try your best, but you love yourself at the same time to understand you're not superhuman. You've got a situation, you want to change, you're not going to be 100% straight away. You do your best, but you make sure you're being honest with yourself, holding yourself accountable, and really, really doing it if you want to change. Doing it if you really want to change your life. I hope this was helpful. And I wish you all the best. And I from time to time, I get people leaving comments on my videos coming back after a few years saying, look, fully recovered now. It's exactly right. You know, I just rested. I got my sleep down. You know, they do other things as well. But ultimately, it comes down to getting in that sympathetic place where you're healing, you're resting, and you're letting your body do the work, doing the repairing that it wants to do. So thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully this was a bit more insightful than the last video, although it's a bit longer. I do like to talk about this stuff. All right, guys, thank you.